After beating DoDonPachi on just a single credit, your journey might not be over just yet. Upon meeting some secret requirements, you unlock the second loop. Enemies have double or triple the amount of bullets, boss patterns get much harder, and at the end of it all is the true last boss, Abachi. I'm on a quest to tackle the DoDonPachi series second loops, because for the longest time I thought that these were way out of the picture. I thought that these were reserved for super players who would be willing to grind out a game for a year. But what I ended up learning is that it's not about reaching a certain level of player proficiency where it's like, okay, now my dodging ability is this high, I can now ride this ride. No, it's not that at all. What I ended up learning is it's all about finding consistency strategies in order to not actually have to do hard things in these routes. It's not all that different from learning a first loop route, but just takes longer because you have to tighten it up a lot more. Now with that being said, this game is a beast. I thought that this would be one of the easier 2-alls because the first loop is not that bad and you get so many bombs. But I ended up learning that the end game of this game, 2-5, 2-6, 2-6 boss, both the TLBs, they want all of your bombs. You cannot afford to be dipping resources earlier than then. And that compounds with the fact that I think the execution of this game is harder than like DOJ. I'm going to be showing you my clear run and going through the consistency strategies I found through looking through everybody's replays. But what we're also going to be doing is I'm going to link below. We're going to be streaming a full in-depth breakdown going through the first loop and the second. It should be a good time. It's going to be turbo long though. So for this video, I'm just going to be showing you the second loop in a constructed and like timely manner. At least as timely as I can make it. We're going to jump right into the run, not at the start of the second loop, but we're actually going to start here. This is the last boss of the first loop. The second loop and the first loop are extremely similar in the routing. So as you get good with the second loop, your first loop is going to get completely annihilated. To the point where, ideally, we want to get through it with using 2 bombs on this boss. You see, we went full resources into this guy. We want to enter the next loop with 1 bomb in stock, and that'll stabilize us once we reach like a resource threshold at like 2-3. That's like the key defining moment of this run. You see there, we got clipped, so we're gonna go into the second loop at a 1 life deficit. You really do just need to spend your bombs. That's what I've learned through playing this game. You don't want to die with any bombs in stock. You just gotta spend those. It's too much of a problem to die with bombs in them. You really need like all of them. You need all of your bombs. Don't risk it. So this guy, even though the first loop gets easier as you get good at the second loop, he's still the gatekeeper of the second loop. So we're going in at a 1 life deficit. Whenever you beat the first loop, as long as you meet one of 3 requirements, which is like a max hit count or collecting Bs, the one we care about is you can't die 3 times. You're allowed to die 2 times in the first loop. If you die any more than 2 times in the first loop, your chances of beating the second loop are nil. You're not beating the second loop, so that's the only one we care about, so we're not going to worry about the other requirements. Now we're going into stage 2-1. Every time you do a 2-all and you have to play the first stage again, the first stage is so easy in the first loop that you get jump scared whenever you go into the second loop because everything's now second loop difficulty right from the get-go. It's like you have to relearn the stage all over again. And since we died, we're picking CL. Our laser is powered up, so our laser is good, but because we died, look, our poor shot. Our poor shot is so small. But luckily, the popcorns still pop, and our spread is still good, so it's actually not too much of a big deal here. And the laser will cover for like any of the big enemies. We're playing it really, really safe. Even though everything's shooting like 3 times the amount of bullets, it's still just aim shots. You still just tap and stream them, and by the time you've killed everything, you got a way out of the bullets. Except for right here, this is the bridge. This one, it's too inconsistent, I find, to kill these enemies in the middle. If like one of them, the turret on one of these tanks pops out, it causes a real hassle. And you get walled on the left or the right side. What we're doing is we're looking up here at the combo indicator, and we're just going to crawl and do a U around this entire thing. This is just a way we can consistently get through this section. And we can do this movement every time. It doesn't matter like which tanks we hit or which we don't. This mid-boss, we want to point blank it, but we don't want to be too high. You need to dip down into the left, so just in case we get a bad pattern, we have enough room to adapt to it. If we're too high up, you can get blasted with a random bad pattern. The rest of this, we can just sit up at the top here and we'll kill everything before it can do anything. You see these tanks? They don't matter as long as we're up there lasering as soon as they spawn. The rest of this, you see the bullets, there's just so many more bullets, but we don't actually have to do any dodges. We just keep doing our tapping like we normally would, and it doesn't matter that there's a bunch or if there's a few. It's the same strategy for both. This is the boss here. We're not going to worry about the side options. We want to speed kill as fast as possible. We'll point blank just for a sec, but we don't want to be up there for too long. You'll get tagged by these. This pattern's only a little bit harder than loop 1, so it's not bad. This one here, we're looking at these blue bullets, looking for a way out and up here so we can point blank for a little bit. This pattern, we're trying to go around the sides here where the side openings are. There's 3 waves. This third wave is about to happen where we'll get both of these waves at once. If we want to dodge it easily without having to micro between the bullets, we get to the side like this, and now we're going to hold horizontally to the left. We're just going to hold horizontally to the side, and look, we dodge this entire wave at once. By this point, because we did the point blank earlier, the one on the middle, not the one at the very start, that got us so much damage that we skip any of its hard patterns. This is also a spot that I see a bomb used a lot. So we can always, if you react to you baiting that triple spreads incorrectly, I've seen you can laser bomb there, you get through the whole pattern. But if we want to save our bombs, and especially because we're at a resource deficit, that's good there. Stage 2, the hardest part comes right away in this first half here. So once we get through these Zakos, we're going to have a bunch of these buildings that will spawn bigger tanks that'll wall us off. So we have to route ourselves to get around them in as clean of a way as possible. There's a tank on the top right you can see its debris on, and we see that turret. What that means is that at this point here, we need to be killing this building here, and we're up a little bit because all the aim shots will be shooting off to the left side, and we have enough room to go down and then to the right, and we'll kill these buildings. You see this here? We don't have to worry about these bullets. We kill those enemies on the right side, so now we have nothing shooting at us. We could kill this big tank that comes out pretty easily, and we need to immediately go to this right side. We're oring all these tanks. Our laser doesn't get stuck on the tank, and we're doing full damage to this building here. And we have enough room going down and then to the right to kill all of the big enemies and still have room to get through the bullets. Now, we're killing 3 of these. You're going to see a 4th one spawns because we killed it so fast, but that 4th one will never shoot. What's more important is that we laser these enemies on the top right so they can't shoot, and we have this Jeep on the right, on the left. You see this big silver plane in front of the Jeep. That thing is really tanky if we're not point blanking it with our laser to get the full aura damage, and these Jeeps will wall us off. You see these have a very, very tight stream. Those can, if we get stuck on one side or the other of it, if we can't kill the Jeep, we get walled and we die. If we do this where it's baiting off to the side, we kill with our aura this big tanky enemy here, and we kill not only this Jeep, but this Jeep as well. Those are the most dangerous things here. The rest of this, we can just stream to one side. See, it doesn't matter how many bullets they're shooting, we just treat it the same way. You just tap and you're fine. This is a loop 2 only thing. The helicopters in the stage shoot around us, so you could just stay still up there and you're fine while also killing the Zakos on the top right. This here, you don't need to worry about damaging this middle part here till it's at the very bottom, because it doesn't really take damage until then. Then it gives you a full cancel. I messed up there, so we spent a bomb. We'll kill enemies on the right side, then the left side, and now we have this tank. We need to point blank this tank and kill it before we have to make a cut around. It's going to be pushing us to one side, and there'll be turrets and enemies spawning in up ahead. We need to kill as fast as possible. Let's point blank it, and you see this position here. We always have a clean up and to the right that we can make, which will hold our point blank for just a little bit long enough to where we can kill it before we get to these turrets. If you don't do that, then what you have to do is while you're killing these turrets, you then have to cut around. You have to deal with both the turrets, enemies coming up ahead, and dealing with the boss pattern itself. It's really hard. I like doing that point blank, so we just kill it before we have to deal with anything. We need to kill a power-up carry up here because our shot is still powered down. I think it'll be fully powered by this point. You see here, look at this building we're right under. You see the shadow where it reaches the sun? We need to be in the middle there, and we're lined up perfect with our laser to kill all of these tanks coming from the left side. We don't have to worry about these helicopters. They shoot around us and then just ram themselves into our aura. If we use our shot here, these tanks above us can manage to get a straight down shot. It causes us a problem. Towards the end here, we do have to move to get around these, but I found it's not as scary as it looks. It feels scary, but I haven't been clipped there before. You have enough move speed, and their angles have a hard time hitting you. Oh, look, you see these target indicators? They're showing us which parts can be damaged. We're going to wait for that one to go all the way around and hit this far left part. As soon as it does, we're going to tap to the right. That avoids those initial shots that are aimed on us, and we can kill the rest of these left side parts. We're sticking to the left side of this boss here because on that very right side, will shoot aimed pink shots just like the ones we just dodged at the beginning. But if we hold the camera to the left, they won't shoot at us at all. Notice how we're not shooting. Look at the boss life bar. We're getting it to just below half, so we can manipulate it to get a ton of damage going into the second phase by triggering the second phase when we wanted to. So you see here, these are fairly easy to dodge. We don't have to deal with too much. We're baiting 3 of them. We have to not get past this halfway point. You see I move between these bullets here just because you see this like silver bar right above us. You pass that point and the boss will send an entire wave at you telling you to get off the boss. We're going to dodge 3 of these without getting up too high, and then we're going to hold all the way and move as fast as we can around. It looks scary. You have enough movement always. And by this point, it tries to shoot its next shot. We've triggered the second phase. We're getting a ton of point-blank damage. And now, look, we've killed almost the whole thing. By the time it shoots this huge spread here, we now can move down, and we only have to dodge this for a minimum amount of time before it goes down. So this is my favorite boss because I like that setup a whole lot. And you do that setup and you barely have to do any dodging. The only killing points of that part are at the very end where you have to make sure you can get through that last little bit there. But because of the slowdown and the slow speed of the bullets, it's not the worst thing in the world. Stage 3 is the cornerstone of our run. The reason being is next stage requires no planned bombs. And it has 2 bomb drops. So it can recoup any of the bombs we use on this stage. However, this stage has a bunch of random elements that could take all of our bombs or none of our bombs. We don't know until we get there. So we want this stage to be really, really good, so we can minimize the chances of any RNG taking all of our bombs. If we die here, we come back with the full bomb stock, and the next stage's bombs are wasted, and we're really behind in bombs. We really want as many bombs as possible going into the end game here, so this is like the key stage of our run. Now let's push back just a second there. You see these enemies, they got a pretty nasty spread. However, we moved to the right here already, so we'll just sit here for these top right 3 enemies, and then you see that big plane over there. We want to go kill that. And we're going to naturally just dodge these 3 enemies. They're going to get automatically baited here. I like doing this because you don't even have to think about it. There's other strategies there. I like just doing that. It just gives you a clean lane through these. This one's a bit harder than the last baits. You see they're shooting a 6 spread. We're just trying to last as long as possible right in the side of this wave. And we'll either have to dodge through maybe one of them, or we get around the entire thing here. So here is where we go gambling. This mid-boss here, this shit is really hard. It's really scary. This shoots really fast. Basically, the whole gambling of this boss is if we can dodge this initial wave, we save a bomb. So we're just going to see, can we find a line out of this horseshit? And it turns out we can. We got lucky this run. It's way easier to dodge the second and third waves. We have all this room on the side here rather than being stuck with the bullets like blowing out in the middle. If we do that, not only do we save a bomb, but the next section, which I really don't like, this whole canyon, it's not waiting to proceed to the next section after we've killed this boss. The screen is still scrolling. So we skip a lot of this next section by delaying the kill on this guy. So we got lucky there. That was our first gambling of this stage. I hate this section. Luckily, we don't have to deal with too many of them. If we use our shot like this, you kind of take out all the turrets here. These enemies look like they would wall you, but based off the angles they could hit, they're not too much of a worry. Like, you could slide on the sides here and you're fine. So now we're through all of that easy shit. Now for the scary bit. Luckily, we do get a bomb drop, so we're in a good position. We got these mid-sized enemies here. If we kill them like this, most of them can't shoot in this very first wave. So that makes that a lot more clean. Here's the problem now. We are going to get a ton of these huge ships with a ton of pieces on them that cause like a lot of obstacles in our way. And these green ships can coin flip. In your run, they will either just be spraying down or they will spray aimed on you. And there are so many strategies for this section, and some of them only work if you get one RNG or the other, or they're harder in one way or the other. I was having a real problem with this trying to not use a bomb, and it turns out if you use a bomb here, then you're littling your chances at if you get unlucky on the boss. You just don't want to die on this stage. But luckily, I'm really fond of this strategy here. This strategy I found gets you really consistently, doesn't matter the pattern, gets you consistently through everything. So we're using our shot to kill all the turrets, and then we're stopping. See, only the command center's left. That gives us a big bullet cancel. We're going to be using those as resources. We're not shooting it. We're making sure just to kill these green enemies, and we kill it at the last second. This gives us time to kill these green enemies. And we're using our shot to kill the green ones and the turrets at the same time before they can shoot. And we're safe up here. Once it stops being safe, we'll trigger this. We want to kill this third one really fast. We want to kill it right away because only enemies spawning are here on the right side. We can laser those. Now, here's the most important part of this. We need to kill all of these green ships in the exact order they spawn. We don't want to kill them sweeping from side to side. We need to kill them as they spawn in so they can't shoot at all. So we have this middle one, then the right one. And look up top here. We don't want... Well, we need to hit the side of this top one so we're not getting blocked by the one that spawned to the left of it. We need to kill them in order. So top, left, left. Kill them in that order, none of them shoot, and we can take care of these turrets. And check this out, we got a free cancel for this really hard section. This one is really, really scary. You're trying to kill like one side of these and then moving through them while dodging bullets, but if we have this cancel, look at what happens. We kill it at the last second, and we've killed so much time that we only have to get through a few bullets, and we're now here to this this carrier here. A bunch of ways to deal with this. I like moving downwards. You do have to move a bit to the sides because they're not aligned perfectly on you. As soon as this last one comes out, that's when we can dip out of here. We need to wait here. These yellow pods that give us our 1-up, if we kill all of those, there's 6 of them. Those are a bit tankier, so we have to route this a bit more tightly. Our big problem is you see that middle turret there, that silver one. It's going to aim based off of us, so we kind of sit at the bottom of this orange pod that we just were sitting under. Because it baits all of these around, we can get up and around it. There's so many ways to do this section, but this is the one I found I was most comfy with. Now we can just proceed to do everything like this. That second silver turret we killed right away. If we do it right, we are killing this turret here as soon as it pops in. We have a laser on it, which means we don't have to dodge it at all. We only have to dodge this right turret. That's the only thing we have to dodge in that section. If we sit under this middle turret here, those blue bullets are fast, but it only can shoot one way by the time you killed it. You don't need to kill the side turrets first. You can just go right ahead and kill that. Here's your 1-up. You get that, if you're not familiar, you get that by killing those 6 orange pods and then not bombing to kill that 1-up carrier. All right, fucking... Oh, God. This boss is the reason we are so scared. This boss is the reason we are so scared of our resources and trying to make sure we have this stage really refined. Because this boss will either take none of our bombs or all of our bombs because it has a random pattern and it like rotates out of some of them. It'll just keep rolling the dice. And one of those patterns is a wall. And often we'll need to like double bomb that wall. And it causes a real hassle. There's a safe way to kill this boss with 3 bombs, but often depending on your RNG and the last bit of the stage, you might not have 3 bombs to dump on him. So we're doing this movement here. I'll talk about it a bit more in the stream, the exact movements. But basically going through this way of killing these enemies, we deal enough damage to the middle of the boss, and we kill these parts in a timely manner. I didn't kill that left turret very fast. We're shooting the main part here while these hatches come up. Once those hatches are dead, this top right turret comes down. As soon as we kill that top right turret, now we're kind of to the second phase of the boss. We've done a bunch of damage to it. That's why we've kind of dismantled it this way. And we're trying to deal as much as we can without killing those back turrets, which make the patterns harder. And we rolled the fucked pattern, so we have to dump a few bombs on it. But by doing that way of dismantling the boss, while it's a bit scary that way, you do have to do some dodging. It stops you from having to use 3 bombs. Like if we get bad luck there, we can just spend 2. I learned that strat from RZM. He showed every variation to do the first half of that boss, depending on which pattern you get. Moving on to stage 4, you see how we're positioned here automatically. We'll just use that Y-axis. We'll get up here and we'll tap down. We kill all these tanks without worrying, and we're in position to kill this turret. Now, this section up ahead, this is one of those sections that I learn, and it goes in my head and goes out the other. It's a little, like, muddy section where it's not hard. You get through it fairly easily, but if you don't have something concrete, eventually one will, like, some fuckiness will sneak in and kill you. So here's how we stop that from happening. Once we get to this 3rd turret, there's one more turret up here. We're going to start the laser there. We can sweep all of these, and then we move to the right side. As soon as we could get to the left, we do that. And then we can curve all the way around. You can see how this one gets muddy based on where you kill these enemies and at what pace. This next section, there's a bunch of ways to do it, and I flip-flop constantly in my runs which one I was feeling at the time. At this time, I felt like doing this one. As soon as these turrets appear, we'll move to the middle and then laser up here. We're trying to carve a pathway so that the only enemies that can shoot are the ones that we're immediately killing. The real big deal is to kill these right here. If we laser them in these order, so that once we kill this like final pink turret at the top right, We're killing both the wave of these flying enemies and these top tanks. Because nothing else is on screen now, we can curve to the right side and we can manage to get and kill these right side enemies before they can shoot. If you don't do that, the right side enemies will wall you. It gets a lot more scary. We're going to position ourselves to kill this thing here to reveal this tank, and we're on the left side so that it baits that first shot right away. We're going to sit here and we're counting how many of these tanks we can kill. We're counting to 5. This is a setup to make this next part like consistent timing. 4, 5. We've now killed 5. I'm dipping over to the side to kill any remaining tanks that spawn. And now we laser this. We're trying to push ourselves into in between the red bullet and the blue bullet. If you find you move too fast by like tapping right or left, if you tap diagonally down or diagonally to the right, you get less of a movement going diagonal. It makes getting in a spot like this fine. We did that counting because if we do that counting and kill everything at this timing, as soon as these pink bullets end, and we have this like opening to the right, we can take that opening to the right, kill those tanks, get over here, and it looks really scary. Everything's pretty low to the ground, but because we did a consistent timing, it'll always be like that. I messed up here. See, I used my shot, which managed to let one of these tank turrets sneak by there. You see him, he's still shooting. That's why you want to use laser earlier to make sure you tag these. So we have to do a little dodge there. Otherwise, it's just a fine cut back to the side. Now here's where, this is the... We got a lot of stuff here, but it's a lot of fun once you learn it. We got this first one. We're going to go in an L. And we can kill this before it's a problem. It looks like we're about to get walled here, but because we're lasering both sides at once, we have a clean opening to get here. There are so many strats to kill this motherfucker right here. This guy's a real problem. I found this is my favorite one. There's so many that are messy and can mess you up in so many ways. I love this one, though. Here's what we're doing. We're using shots, so those top left enemies aren't shooting. These bottom right enemies aren't shooting, and we're doing a tiny bit of damage on him. As soon as it starts shooting, we hold laser and tap down. If we do this, we're now auring these tanks, so our laser doesn't get stuck on these tanks and is not shooting the big enemy. Using our shot earlier has killed these top left enemies so that the ones, they're only shooting now. When it's like, it's too late for them, we're already hitting this big enemy. And we can tap to the left, and look, we got so much room to the right. We're not like have to make any crazy dodge after it dies, and we're killing these enemies on the right side. And you have so much room. I love that strategy. It's so much that you can like, I even greeted and just tried to point blank this guy. You need to have that super tight because you need to get to this position fast, or else the next section goes out of whack. You have to bomb. We have a little bit of upward movement, so we have room to kill these turrets up top. Otherwise, we have to go back for them. Now, this section, there's a lot to talk about in this section. We're going to get to the middle right here. Whichever half you're on, these orange helicopters are going to come down in groups of 3. And whichever half you're on, they'll pick the other half. This is important because we have this big tank coming in here. Now, our indicator on when we're going to move, we're in the middle here and on the right side. We see this tank come in. It's shooting these blue shots, and we're going to ride the wave around the blue shots. If we do it at that timing, these orange helicopters that come in will kill on the way in. So look at these helicopters again. So we're waiting for the tank. We're riding this wave. Now watch this top left. You see those orange helicopters? Because our options are off to the side and they're shooting diagonally, they will ram these guys there. If you don't kill those 3, then you're super toast. And because of these tanks don't have a hitbox or a grounded enemy, we can laser down there. And while this part looks scary, you can just go off to one side and we're good. Now for the next one, we got to deal with 2 tanks. See, we're on the left side. Look at those helicopters on the top right. Because we're on the left side, they're spawning on the top right. We're going to move in between their bullets. If you move in between those, not only do you dodge that huge wave from this big tank here, but you get around everything. And you have enough room to laser this guy. He can't track you well enough. We're going to kill these. You need to go pretty fast in killing those so you could cut over to this side. Once you kill that 4th one on the left, you'll know you're just waiting for the explosion sound there. We're going to start tapping to the right. Tap, 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 tap. Here's how you do this section with no bomb. We get to this point and we're tapping and we're trying to aggressively tap forward so we're in front of like the next blue bullet ahead of us. At this point, you want to hold your shot here because you're killing the turrets on the right side. You're killing these turrets on the left that are causing issues. And then you just have to be tap dodging these aimed ones on the turrets that are remaining on the right. I messed up a little bit. Look at where I didn't switch to shot fast enough. I moved too far to the left. I got myself in a position where I didn't feel comfy dodging the blue bullets. So we're down a bomb there, but we got 3 in stock. That's not the worst thing. We're now off to our boss. This boss has this boss in every game you can cheese in every single game, and it's no different here. This boss is pretty similar to the first loop. We're going to point blank its damage as much as possible. We're going to move down once it begins. And now I'm pretty sure this is how this works. Wherever we are, where we end this pattern off, is where this boss is going to move left or right. So we're starting here. We're trying to dodge this. I hate this pattern, by the way. I always get clipped here. Because we're on the left side, it's going to be moving to the right whenever he tracks us down here. So this part gets a bit harder than the first loop because look at this. We have these red bullets to deal with. These red bullets, if you get ahead of these lasers here, you dodge ahead of them early, those red ones can smack you. It's a real problem. And the boss is random in which, like, if it's shooting, it's like left or it's right side. You need a pattern for both. Luckily, this strategy covers both patterns. So we're going to bait it so we know which direction it's going. We're going to sit under it, and here's the rule. Basically, you see this left side. Right now, it's shooting its right laser. We are just going to wait no matter when this left laser shoots. After that shoots its first shot, we then move over and then hug the side of that. So right side shoots, we're tracking it. Oh, there's the left side. We now get onto the left side of it. And now we're safe. As soon as we can get back through, we get back through. If we're on the side here, we're holding to the right. We dodge the second laser no matter when it goes off. And then the last part, we just have to dodge this. That's how we could... That will cover both patterns if it shoots left or right first. We have one more to dodge here. I'm not shooting because while we were doing all of that, in this position here, I'm now just looking at the top of the screen. I'm trying to line up the boss health bar so that the yellow health has just barely reached the pink high score text. You see it's lined up with the H there. Now we stop shooting, and we're going to hold laser and move off to the side. And this is a setup. You don't have to time anything. It's automatically timed if you're that bar there is lined up with the pink H. It's automatically timed. You move up a little bit and just be holding laser. And it's timed here, where if you trigger the boss phase while those big cannons are like moved up and backwards, it gets stuck like this, and you don't have to deal with this really hard second phase. Second phase, you'll have to probably bomb through. It's pretty hard to dodge through. I've only done it like once, and like on a fluke practice run where you don't care about living. That's the big deal. That setup's so nice because it's as long as the boss health is where you want it to be, it's automatically consistent, and you don't need to learn two different patterns. You don't have to react to left or right side. Our next stage, this 2-5. The hardest stage in the game. I tried so hard to learn the no miss for it so we could save bombs, but it's just not worth it. I just resigned myself that we're just going to bomb it. 2 bombs is what I want to spend here. That's what I've allocated for this. We have to be so tight on bombs throughout the game, even though we get so many bomb drops, because starting from now on, 2-5, 2-6, 2-6 boss, Koryu, and Hibachi need all of your bombs. They don't need a few bombs allocated for each one of those sections. No, they need all of your bombs. You need so many bombs. So this stage is crazy. And even though we resigned to using 2 bombs here, we still got a lot of work to do to get to the part where we can bomb it. And there's so much going on that what we're going to do is on the stream we're going to do, which I'll link below, we're going to deep dive in this really hard, going like second by second where you want to go on this. But for right now, we're going to get all the generals. So right away, we're going to bait everything. We want to kill one side and then sweep your shot to the other, so one of the sides is an easy dodge. I like holding in the middle here. We're waiting for 3 of these turrets, and then we're going to kill these enemies here. We're basically orienting ourselves based off these tanks going off this left road. This left road will periodically have tanks at a consistent timing. We're lining ourselves up to always meet back there at certain times. So we kill the first one, we move to the right side. We're going to kill 3 on the left side, and then we move over to kill all these turrets. Now it's just 1 on here. We kill this final one on the left, and we have a fairly easy way to get to the right side. There's a nice little bomb for us. We curve around here. We're using our shot here to kill as many enemies as we can. We're trying to get to the right side late so we don't get stuck. As soon as we get here, we'll dodge 2 waves of these enemies on the highway, and then we're trying to get here late. We're trying to get around these like blue shots here, and we're going to move up. We need to be aware. See this tank peeking out of this right highway? You need to be ready to tap down. We've moved along the side here, and then we need to tap down as soon as we can so we don't get blasted right away by that tank. We need to get up and around to right here. We're slowly going, using our shot to try to kill the turrets. The turrets are the real problem there. You see how fast we move to get to the left side? We moved really fast, and we gave ourselves some upward movement because I'm looking at this top turret on the top left. You see that one right there? We're currently directly under. I want to take that one out, so curving back and around is not as hard as it needs to be here. Now, we're trying to make sure to kill these turrets. These aren't too big of a problem, even if you don't route them like this. But here's what we want to do now. This big tank here, we're going to start in the middle. We're going to move down. So we're dodging all the red bullets, and we have a way to move around to the left. At this timing, we can now laser point blank all of these towers. We are point blanking this, even though this big tank that's coming up next, even though it's under the bridge. And now we move down and hold shot, so we're killing all layers of these green planes coming in. What you want to do at this point is you make a dash here to the left side. And that makes it so that once these left planes start coming in, you create yourself a way. You see we have a gap to move out and to the right. I didn't see it fast enough, so look what happened. I got stuck here. Luckily, they're all aimed, so we can get out of there fine. But the issue is we don't kill these turrets right. You need to kill these turrets like starting from like left to right to left. Otherwise, you get stuck like we do here, and you really need to be in a good position to start the hallway of hell. This shit, we started on a bad footing. So we're pretty much guaranteed ourselves at least one bomb, but we're probably going to need 2 bombs. This shit is so hard, man. I practice this section so much. So much. In just an attempt to save like 1 bomb or 2 bombs. And I just couldn't do it. So I just resigned ourselves. So usually I can get through that first one without a bomb. You get clipped there, though, and you just bomb this section, man. This second bunker, though, I can't do the second bunker. I can't position myself in a way. These 2 blue things are easy to kill, but like getting yourself out of a position where you can kill both the planes coming in and be in a high up position to kill, and then I didn't spend another bomb there because I positioned badly. You don't want to be as high up. If you bombed on the second bunker at the point about what we did, you can kill the remaining of these enemies by streaming to one side. And now we're in a position here. See this this whole structure here. There's a left, right, and a middle. Once you kill the last piece, you get a bullet cancel. However, if you kill the middle one, you get bigger of a bullet cancel because the explosion takes longer. You get more time to set up the next section. So we're holding shot. That's going to kill the right section. I hold off for a little bit. You want a laser. You want a laser to kill the left one, and then you kill the right one right away. But because I misdamaged it, I didn't get our cancel. We're forced to do another bomb. Luckily, this last section's really hard. You probably need a bomb anyway. You need to make sure you kill these turrets on the top right, so you don't have to just the top middle, so you don't have to do any dodges. You have to make sure these turrets are dead. These things aren't too hard to deal with, but you have to make sure as this right one appears, you're starting in the middle, so that these top 2 turrets can only shoot a few shots off. These red shots are slightly aimed on you, so you can have a static position. Like this one, I like to be in between these 2. And then you move down and to the right, and you'll always dodge the red shots. We have 3 of these to deal with. You kill them with the right one first, and you get through them. We need to rush ourselves to the top of the screen so we get around here. We're in a position to point blank all these. The right one shows up first, so I just kill that one. And then the left one shows up, so I kill that one first. Now we are to this boss. This boss requires no bombs, but if you want to be safe, you really want to bring 1 bomb into the final pattern of this boss. Here's what we're going to do. We want to kill it before it gets to its ending phases, so we're going to try to greed for some point-blank damage. We're point-blanking here, and right before it reaches the top, we'll now go to the bottom. The way this bait works is you sit at the bottom, it's all aimed on you. As soon as these blue bullets are about to hit, and we get past them, we move up just a little bit, not too high up. Don't move too high up. Just a little bit, so you dodge that initial wave and you can tap down. From here on, these things are actually not very tanky. They're not as tanky as the first loop. We're going to start by shredding them from one side to the other. There are a bunch of them, and here's the real conundrum. We need to kill these so they don't linger into the next section, but we need to be back in that safe spot that we started at. So what I do is we'll laser if you sweep across, and then you hold your shot at the end to kill any lingering ones. And if you're in around the similar position, you can get to here. Here's a real... If you don't want to do this dodge, you can bomb here. You use the shot bomb, you get to the top. I like to get... We have to balance ourselves between getting through these 2 fire lanes here. You see those? It looks pretty scary, but what I found is that we're going to line ourselves up, so that we're on the left side of this right fireball. And then as soon as we pass this right fireball, because the boss is dropping these straight down and the boss is moving to the right side, the second firebomb is always going to be a tiny bit more to the right. So you just do a slight tap to the right. You're hugging this right fireball and you're in a position where you can move up and you get through both of these. If you do that, then we can get the point blanking right away. If you want to position this so you're always point blanking it, you see the kind of line it has a little bit above us with the black lines in it, the black divots. If you're lining up the pink stripe of the middle of your ship with that, you'll point blank it without needing to move up and around. I wanted to be extra safe, so I was just giving ourselves extra room. If you do this correctly, you kill the boss before it moves down into you. Now, you don't actually, if you want to be safe, you bomb right there. That's like, if you want no nonsense, don't want any funny business, you just bomb there, and you don't have to worry about it. But what I found is on this hard bit here, you do have to pay attention to these missiles here. Sometimes they'll give you like a hard pattern or whatever. But I'm pretty sure that if you, in the second loop, if you're hugging this side here as it comes down, I don't think these missiles can hit you. I don't think there's a pattern to where they can hit you. They move too fast downwards, unlike loop 1, where they move slowly. The other spot is you can hug this middle divot. I'm pretty sure that works. I'm not too sure. I think you can hug this middle, but then you gotta be tapping like down and right, down and right, down and right for dear life to not run into the boss. Well, if you do this, you skip its last hard phase. I could have done more damage there and skipped that part. We did all of that setup so that when the boss comes down, we skip the part where it comes down. We damage it before we have to make that hard dodge, but I had to make it because I just barely missed out on enough damage. So that stage didn't go too well for us. We lost all of our bombs. I want to use 2 bombs on that stage, but unfortunately we used all of them. But it's better than dying, because this stage, we're going to have a bomb drop up ahead. I like lasering these as fast as possible. We want to kill these ones on the left side and sweep over here. They're all aimed, so it's fine. This section, I don't like any of the strats I've seen on this section, so instead we do this really funny movement here. We just tap down, left, down, left, down, left, down. And it gets through these. The reason why I like this a whole lot is because everything, it's just enough movement to get past the red shots there. We don't have to make any cut-arounds or anything. We automatically kill the 2 jeeps on the top left, and cleaning up the rest of that's easy. It's just if you can get good at that movement, you don't have to worry about anything that comes after it. Alright, these enemies here, if they live, they cause a problem. They like get you stuck off on a side, but they always shoot in this pattern. We always move to the right and then down in them. So we're like off to the right, and then we follow this lane it gives us. You kill these really fast. As soon as this happens, we get up. We're trying to point blank. You see this fireball? As soon as it hits the very bottom of the screen, we move downwards. And then we're trying to move aggressively into the middle, even if we didn't kill the tank as fast, because this tank this Zako tank in the direct middle gonna get you stuck. You see, it's got a pretty concentrated shot here. After we kill that, we kill these tanks to the side. That got really close. We need to be ready in case we get a hard pattern from that second big tank. I tried to route this next section with like so many different strategies to just have a consistent route, but I just found you just say fuck it. You just kill everything. Just make sure you kill the turrets on the sides, and then you end off by killing these turrets here. We're waiting. You see this bee that's about to spawn? We're waiting for that bee to spawn and like phase in on the left. That's our cue to move to the left. We kill all those enemies and we hold our laser here. Now, unlike the first loop where we can just go all the way around and crawl along the screen, at this point here, we need to start using our shot a bit to get some room. These purple bullets are fairly quick, so we use our shot just to give us some extra room, but doing that movement causes the Zakos to not be an issue. This section is really hard. We're lining ourselves up with this copper kind of part of this bridge. And the reason why this section is really scary is because at this point right here, this is the critical part right here. We're using our shot not only to kill these tanks, but you see this middle green enemy here. We are trying to move up in a way to where this green enemy is being hit by both of our shots. If we do that, then the green enemy dies. Most of the tanks are dead because of our spread, and now we have a clean way down and to the left. You see, because we messed it up, and we didn't move up, I'm pretty sure we needed to be tapping up faster to initiate this section. We're now late in our timing, and now this enemy has spawned and walled us off. We have to blow a bomb here. At this point, the movement you'd want to be doing is we're cleaning up the rest of these turrets and these jeeps, and you see that bee teleporting in there. And now we have these green enemies on the right here. Here's how we time this next section is a clusterfuck if you don't have a static, consistent like timing for it. As soon as we laser this green enemy on the top right, that's our cue to hold hard and to the left. If you hold hard and to the left and you don't have to stop moving to the left, you don't have to like dip up or down to dodge a bullet, you avoid the second set of green bullets, and it makes the whole rest of this section clean. Because we had to dip up in a bit, we have this second one here. So in case that happens, we move up a bit and get around it. And it's enough that we can then go down and around this next set of green bullets. We are trying to manipulate these green bullets throughout the stage so that they cause us as little friction as possible. Once we get to this part here, we're trying to sit in the middle. You see these yellow pickups? There are a bunch of tiny turrets there. That's where we want to kill. We want those out of the way. And it's in a good position where these next set of green enemies on the right side, those are all dead. We're waiting for 2 of those green enemies to die. You see that third one that popped in? We're just waiting for 2 of those. We move to the top left, and we're now lasering here. If we do that correctly, none of those green enemies on the left, on the right have shot, and we've killed all these ones on the left before they can shoot. We now can just move along, oriented, based off the very right edge of these green bullets. And we're moving slow. And now that all the green enemies are dead, we're going to cut to the right because we need to go back around. This lets us go all the way over to the side, and then once we're comfy, we then cut back. And now we barely had to dodge any green bullets. That's how you get through that section without the green ones causing any issues. Unfortunately, I'm so bad at killing this big tank up here. I think I needed to be up higher faster. So we have enough room to tap down and have enough time to kill. You see our laser? It's getting stuck on these Zakos and these tanks up ahead. If that happens and you don't have enough room, this is what happens. You don't kill the tank in time. I've gotten lucky sometimes to where I could use my shot here and that tank dies. Unfortunately, no luck here. You do get to see some funny dodges here. Can you believe this happened? I almost kept it through if I dodged through these ones earlier, but you can't bet on that. You just bomb there if something goes wrong. We'll take a death there, but unfortunately this section, I have a consistent timing in order to deal with this section, and dying there kind of flipped off the timing. I'm not sure in which part I'm supposed to be in. So I move up because we would need to be up here at the time that these start shooting. You see they shoot straight down. They can't hit us at this angle. These turrets on the top left. And we want to be up a bit so that we're right under these bullets that we got too far up of. We need to be under these pink bullets that were shot directly at us. That way, because if we go too high, too early in that section, these spinning Beyblade enemies will shoot blue bullets at us, and we have created room for us to move down. Unfortunately, we didn't. I was waiting for the blue bullets, and they never came, so we have to bomb this section here. You make your way over to the right side. You're waiting for that green enemy. That's your cue. You need cues for everything if you want to make these hard stages consistent. That green enemy at the top right, as soon as that dies, we hug here. We are just enough to the left to where we can hit these enemies on the highway without triggering shots from these turrets on the left side. So we don't have to deal with them. And because we killed the right turrets earlier, you see their pink bullets miss us. They're shot off to the left side. Here's our next cue. These green enemies, as soon as those kick us out to the left, we now kill these turrets. These enemies now get free and shoot us, but because they're aimed, we move back and around. Even if these turrets on the left, we move the camera too much to the left now, start shooting. The next section will start, they'll stop shooting. We're going to move up, so we kill all those Zakos. This section I hated until I saw Wes's run, and it deals with it flawlessly. Check this out. We killed this tank before it could do anything, and now we need to kill these enemies here. These all come down in a certain formation. This is the order in which we kill them. We start on the right side. We hold here for 3 of them. We've killed 2 of them. We're waiting for the third. Now we move over to the side. Oh, we need to sit here in the middle. There's 2 in the middle we need to kill. Now we move off to the right. This orientation causes us to avoid all of the bullets, so we macro everything while killing them in a clean order. Here's the next set. We have to kill 2 in the middle. And now we're here. It puts us perfectly so that we can point blank this enemy. If this enemy gets to its second pattern, we're dead. But we can point blank it here. This section's a little finicky. Here's what you do. You just laser off to the side, and then you tap, 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 tap to the left. So those aim shots don't kill you while you point blanked all the turrets on all the Zako tanks on the right side. Then you need to sweep back over to the right side and kill these tanks, because if you immediately go to kill these blue enemies here, a tank's going to shoot you from behind and kill you. However, you have enough time to kill that tank while also point blanking these before they can shoot. Now we're going to hug here. Once these tanks come in, We are going to kill this first one and tapping to the left. I have so many problems with this tank section. But what I found out is you just need to move slowly. These red shots are aimed at you. So as soon as we kill this first tank, we're just tapping like down and left, down and left, down and left, so we could get in a position to hit the right side of this tank. At this point, the pink shots are aimed at us. The purple shots are fixed. We are just focused on the purple shots, and the pink ones shoot at a periodic timing, so we don't need to constantly be tapping left, 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 left. What we need to do is we need to do little pauses, little dashes of movement to get around these purple shots, and that delays us enough timing to where we kill the tank before we get walled off on the left or be forced to make any dodges. Alright, now we're to fucking... 2-6 boss is probably the hardest part of the game, honestly. This boss, we don't want to bomb too much because we want to bring as many resources as possible into the TLBs, but like, you gotta bomb this boss. I was at first learning strategies to get to the last pattern, because the last pattern you gotta bomb. It's just so hard. But what I ended up finding is we just need to dedicate bombs to this first section, so we speed run this first section and have no cause for accident. If we get clipped here, we're losing so many bombs. We're losing so many bombs, and we need every bomb. We can't afford to not have bombs for the TLBs. So what we need to do is we need to minimize the bomb loss, and we just gotta spend what we can here. Here's the pattern I do. We wait till this part. That's a planned bomb there because you bait these purple shots to the side, and we're point blanking as much as we can. I got okay at dealing with this section without a bomb, but I'm not good at dodging the later pattern, so I'm fine with using a laser bomb here. Or even two, which we ended up using, because it just skips us past the actual patterns I'm not good at dodging. See, this pattern here, this one's a bit dicey. And we're even going to spend another one. I've lost so many runs because we get clipped with bombs in stock. It's ridiculous. We get through that. We completely skip any of the extra harder patterns. And now we're to here. You can dodge this kind of... You're trying to make boxes, but it's all a bit finicky. It's a lot harder than the first loop. And the first loop strategy to do this is already really hard. I resigned myself. I said, fuck it. We're just getting through this boss. We don't want any accidents right before the TLBs. We're okay with diminishing ourselves of bombs in order to just get through this motherfucker as fast as possible. Plus, we're in a position where even though we died in the first loop and we had to bomb a bunch in 2-5, we have 4 lives total. We have enough bombs. If no accidents happen, we have enough resources to complete the game. So we said, fuck it, we get through the last boss. Now, this is Koryu. If you greed this boss, you can ink out a ton of damage by doing hard dodges. But what I found is that I could never get past the threshold where I could kill this boss with 3 bombs. I always needed 4. No matter how well I dodged, I always needed 4 bombs. So what I learned in this run is that, fuck it, we're not doing any hero dodges. We're not saving any bombs anyway. We're just going to spend them. We're trying to kill these parts like this. We're trying to kill them in a certain order. This first part here is a bit dodgeable, but like, potential for clip there. And we're not saving bombs, just use the bombs. We have to use shot bombs because your laser bomb doesn't do jack shit to this boss. If you use shot bomb, you can at least point blank it with your laser. You're killing that right side to get a cancel to hopefully make that part easier, get you a clean gap. We didn't get one, but that's fine. We're just spending the bombs. Maybe we could have inked out a dodge here or there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're spending 4 bombs no matter what. Unless you got like the God run, in which you save 1 bomb. Just don't die with bombs in stock. Alright, so now we're to Hibachi. So why have we been freaking out about bomb resources this entire time? It's because this boss is a resource check from start to finish on every single pattern. You are not meant to dodge shit in this boss. You need to bomb everything, which in one way makes it like nice because it's like, well, I'm not meant to dodge everything. That just means I can do my best and then bomb whenever. However, if we need to make it to the last pattern with enough resources to get through it, we need to have a certain amount of bombs on a certain phase so that we can do a setup to ensure we enter the second phase with as little resources lost as possible. Let's look at this first pattern. This is a key part of it. So we're trying to get as much as we can now. I find it easier to dodge this on the left side. This shit, you have to do your best. You just have to do hero dodges until the hero dodges are too risky. And then you have to bomb. Look at our bombs. We have 1 bomb. If we have 3 or more bombs, we are going to 2-bomb this boss and then bomb the next pattern. If we have 2 or less bombs, 2 bombs, we can just double bomb this pattern and we're set up for the next pattern. 1 bomb gets a bit dicey. We have to do dodges for a little bit, and then we have to bomb the rest of this pattern. That's what we got to do. So we got to be a hero for a little bit. Be a hero, be a hero. Now, I kind of got the feeling, man, we dodged a bunch of it. The next pattern's going to start soon. Every time you bomb, look at the boss. It's got a shield around it. You're not doing damage to it while you're bombing, which means during the sections that we can damage the boss, we need to not have a bomb on it. So because we dodged the first half of that last pattern, and then we bombed the second half, the boss pattern has ended, and now it comes out of bomb invuln while we can point blank it here. We got a bit of time here. Now, here's why we were talking about bomb resources. This pattern here, if we have 2 bombs available here, maybe even 1, you can double bomb this pattern fast, like about at this point here. And then you can point blank the next phase because it'll wait for all these blue bullets to go off screen. But there's no blue bullets because you canceled all of them. So the boss is just sitting there letting him kill you or letting you kill him. If we don't have the bomb resources available, we could do a self-destruct strat. So if we have 1 or no bombs, you want to do this strat. You wait until these all coalesce together. All 4 sides of these bullets reach together, you die. And now look at this. Your shield will get through all of the remaining of these blue bullets. And now the invuln comes out to where we could point blank. This is the best part of the fight to get damage on this first phase. This pattern is a nightmarish pattern. I'm so bad at dodging it. We are just trying to live and then bomb, live and then bomb. If you get lucky, you could point blank at the start of this pattern, but don't get too greedy because while the last pattern, it has to shoot those like parts to the sides and then the blue bullets come in. This one blasts you right away. So don't get too greedy. Don't get yourself killed here. This one, we have a reasonable amount of control and a reasonable amount of RNG. You just make do with what you got. Whenever these small enemies come out, you want to kill them with your shot and then these green bullets will come out. You have a little bit of control over trying to find gaps here, but for the most part, you're just trying to live as long as possible and then bomb. I got a pretty good luck there. And now we've rotated back. Look, we have 2 bombs, so we can now bomb here. I've survived a bit long, so I got a bit worried that I might have survived too long. So we're just dumping our 2 bombs fast, and perfect. We're at a good timing to where we can point blank this boss. We don't have 2 bombs available, so we use the self-destruct strat. So now we're at a point. Once we pass that 8 in like the high score, that's about where the boss transitions into the next phase. We got it. We got the point blank on the boss before it could shoot its next pattern, which is perfect because if the next pattern goes out, you're going to have to bomb it. You're losing all of your bombs and you might trigger the next phase as it shot its next pattern, which means you can't get up here to point blank it. We got the optimal situation to where we're point blanking it already, and then it's slowed down. You see it's moving its fast, sporadic motion. And then you know you've triggered the next phase as it like lurches to a halt. Now we gotta be careful, even though it's going slow, it's still moving around all over. It can easily just decide to move down and to the right and kill us here. So we're giving ourselves enough room to point blank it, but we have enough leeway to that if it moves towards us, we can dip out so we don't get rammed by it. We are on the bottom right of the boss because the boss pattern always starts like this and rotates clockwise like this. We have enough room to quickly dash down and get into the left of this pattern. Unfortunately, I didn't feel comfy getting into the middle, so we have to dump a bomb here. So here's the thing with this boss. This is the final pattern. Depending on RNG, these pink bullets will be fast or slow. It's different run to run. I kept losing runs to this fight because I tried to make the most. I tried to dodge everything that was dodgeable and then bomb once you got an impossible pattern. That ends up being you take a lot of risks, you get clipped, and you end up running out of resources here because eventually you're going to get a pattern you can't dodge. You got to get really lucky on this pattern. There are more patterns that you can't dodge than patterns that you can. Why is it like that? Because the boss, while these pink bullets are actually static, the boss moves around sporadically, so it could decide to move in a way to where it like walls you off with these pink bullets. What did I end up learning? I learned that you should just bomb any pattern that is not brain dead to move through. That pattern, maybe I could have made it through, but no, just bomb that. Maybe we could, no, just bomb that. Why are we doing this? even though we're not getting damage on the boss because it has a bomb shield, and then by the time the bomb shield goes away, we now have to bomb again, so we're getting no damage on it. It might get your anxiety up. Here's the thing though, eventually it's going to rotate into the pattern to where you can actually get damage on it. And it is far worth just bombing yourself to get to that pattern than it is eking out small little bits of damage. At least with the resources we have. If you're trying to if you don't have the resources, you have to hero dodge your way through. Like you see here, we got a good pattern. Bomb to where it's unclean. Let's check out this one. Oh, we got an easy one. We made it. Our bombs have gotten us to a pattern that's really easy. Oh, it's getting a bit scary. We bomb there. And this way, we minimize all risk of dying with bombs in stock. We get to the easy patterns like this where we can just get away with a bunch of damage on it. And look at the boss. We've done a bunch of it. We've got it over halfway down. And now that we have no bombs, now we can do all the hero dodges we want. And we could try to get as much damage as we can. Now, I like to do this. I don't have a timing for it. You can get some point-blank damage and then bomb. I find it's worth it to do that because there's a chance that you might get an impossible pattern right at the beginning. And then you get no damage on the boss. We're just spending a bomb to get a little bit of damage. I could have stayed up there for longer, but there's no fucking way I was dropping this run to, getting hit by the boss like that. So now what's our plan? Stick to the plan. Oh, impossible pattern. Bomb. Any pattern that looks slightly hard, we bomb. That looked a bit scary. I'm getting a little nervous because our bombs are getting lost, but look at this. It finally rotated to an easy pattern. I could dodge this shit all day. Boom, we got it. I think that's what you want to do for consistency. If you go in with 2 lives, I think you have enough to bomb your way through anything that could be scary. This boss is really weird in terms of difficulty because you're expected to bomb every single pattern. So that's cool because you're not bombing in places where you need to not be bombing. You're expected to bomb, so maybe it's a little easier there. But at the same time, you have to bomb every pattern. There's no getting good at a pattern. Sometimes you just get unlucky since everything is RNG that entire boss. So it's really weird in terms of difficulty. But using this kind of route here, I think that's fairly good for consistency. It minimizes the amount of hard dodges you have to do. You pretty much bomb anything that looks scary, and if you do it correctly, it sets you up to get into the second phase fine, and then you have enough resources in the second phase to not have to be a hero. I want to say that's what you want to be doing, but that's why we stress so much about trying to hold as many bombs as possible. But that said, I did die in the first loop. I bombed a bunch in 2.5. I bombed a bunch on 2.6 boss. I bombed in places, you can no-miss 2.6 if you really want. I had to bomb sometimes there. So I think if you just go for consistency and just use the goddamn bombs, just use the bombs on both the TLBs and the stages, I think that's what you need to do, or else you get stuck in reset hell. But thanks everybody for sticking through here. Next one, we actually streamed DoDonPachi and got the 2-all of DoDonPachi, so I'll be doing a video of that at some point. And I'm getting close to the Ura 2-all of God Help Not Ketsui of a DFK 1.5, so maybe we'll be streaming that in the future.